Photojam, coming to you from a studio at home to your screen, in your home. Photo, video, tech. Photojam.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon. We are on Photojam. Thank you for tuning in again. It's 4 p.m. and today you see I've got a screen full of people. It's very exciting. I've got the all is amazing. This is a whole team of photographers. And once you see their photos, you realize why they're on, because they do some really awesome stuff. I mean, I've sort of gone through a bit of our portfolio and the people, the kinds of things that they shoot, the kind of collaborative work that we're doing with other photographers is just mind-blowing. So I'm very glad that Anis introduced this team of photographers to us. And today, I think they've got a very interesting a program for us. To start with, we've got Paul, we've got Dedy, and we've got Meng. Good
Hello.
Afternoon, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Hello. Hey,
Yeah.
all good. Are we live?
To Malaysia.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. We are live. Finally, we're really live.
Fantastic.
Okay, nice.
It's good to be alive, even in our house right now. Hello, everyone. Thanks for inviting us with that. First of all, it's really an honor to be here. I think we are number 1,476 on your live stream right now, right?
I mean, depends on how long this MCO is going to last.
Exactly. But yeah, big kudos to you for doing this. And I think all the Malaysia's creative community really appreciates what you're doing here. And I've been telling you behind the scenes that I think you're collecting this archive of photo industry of Malaysia 2020, which I think should be in a museum at some point,
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. So thanks for that. And thank you for everyone who is tuning in to be on a live session with us. Don't be shy. Ask us questions. Feel free to interrupt us, comment, and whatever live stream you're watching right now, Waitat will interrupt us and coordinate the session. So if we will answer only interesting questions that we think are interesting.
For me, it's because I'm running the lower thirds. I'm tuning the audio and all that, which is why you see me. Okay, it's not that I try to be rude and ignoring you, but
no worries.
But one thing, first, the big question is tell us about yourself. Especially Paul, Dedy, Meng. I mean, some of you look quite Malaysian, but I'm not sure which parts of Malaysia. So maybe you can explain where you're from and how you can come to be together as a team.
Yeah, so some of us might look like Malaysian, others don't look like Malaysians, but we are Malaysians inside, in our hearts. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we can. I just quickly run an intro of the whole team. So there are actually more of us. There are 3 more offline right now, and 3 of us here online. We are a very international team, but we are Malaysians in our hearts, and we live in Malaysia. We run business in Malaysia. We love Malaysia. We work with Malaysians, and
Only my IC is Malaysian.
But besides that, so I do come from North Europe, country called Lithuania, which for those who don't know, you can also pronounce it as Lithuania. Okay. It's the country below Finland, in front of Sweden, and squeezed in between Estonia and Latvia. So we do speak Lithuanian in there. We are quite good at football, but we are better in basketball. Okay. So don't try to remember if you know any football players from my country, because probably that's not the case. And I'll pass it on to Dedy to tell his story. Where is he from?
Hello. So my name is Dedy. It's my actual name. It's in my passport. It's in my birth certificate also. I double check it. I'm from Indonesia. I came here to study last time, but then I just fell in love with the city, with the people. So I just stay on and see how long can I stay here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you're from Mas Bro in Indonesia.
East Java, Surabaya. Don't go there. It's horrible city. That's why I come here.
It's amazing city.
Don't say that.
It's amazing city.
We had the Indonesian on yesterday, Pak Isham.
Oh yeah. True.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, me. Okay. I'm from PJ.
Okay. You're not going to do the next to the Petaling Jaya.
Yeah, in a small area called Damansara Utama.
Yeah, so then that's it. Then we have a couple more Malaysians, one from Ipoh, one is from TTDI, and one colleague from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
From Kapong.
So very quickly, Paul, what do you all do?
So we are known in the industry as a event photography team. We photograph a lot of big scale, small scale, boutique scale events in Kuala Lumpur and also around the world. But that's what we're known for. But what we want to tell you today is that we do much more than that, and how we creatively collaborate with each other, how we creatively collaborate with Malaysia's photography community, what we photograph besides the events. We all gonna tell you later on. We do have a studio in Chowkit. Well, some of my colleagues might not agree it's a Chowkit. I think it's Chowkit. It's in Jalan Doraisami,
in the heart of KL.
Yeah, in the heart of KL, Chowkit. It's squeezed between Chowkit and Kampung Baru. It's in a row.
I think Sudirman made Chowkit very hip, in the 90s.
Yeah, so we are bringing that hipness back again.
Oh yeah.
Right now. Yeah, so we are a team of photographers that working together full time. We train together, we photograph together, we help each other. We do the studio, we share equipment, we share resources, and we also try to give back to community as much as possible from the things we learn, whatever it's our experience or theoretical knowledge.
It's fantastic. I mean, that's how it should be, because...
Yeah, I believe it's all about sharing, because if you don't share, you don't grow. And I always keep on telling myself and the team members that if you want to grow fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So we are in this for a long run.
That phrase is actually what made me join the team a long time ago.
Thank you. Good sales pitch.
But I think we've heard it before, but it's very true, But as a photographer, the tendency is you want to do everything by yourself,
Yeah.
But if you have that kind of mindset, you're limiting yourself, because there are many things that we collaboratively you can do so much more.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely true, and I think we are living a proof of that. That we can do so much more, and also it takes away the struggle from our shoulders when you are just one person trying to run the whole show, whereas we are a team of 6 people, so we can share responsibilities and replace each other when it's necessary, So I think the risk that we share in terms of failing in front of the client is much, much lower than when you are just a single photographer.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick shout out of some of the comments that are getting here.
Shout out,
Elaine Young.
Elaine.
Oh, it's amazing,
Elaine.
Then we got Ismas. Awesome.
Ismadi.
Okay?
Ismadi. They count as one unit because they're sitting in one house. So we just count them as one.
Riz Duri. Tanisha. Okay, Dedy. Yeah, and then we've got Yok Moy says she's been to Lithuania, so there's someone that
for what?
Yok Moy,
we have a tourist quota of 2 people a lot per year.
She's one of the 2 then, so she's been to Lithuania. So that's very interesting. Isam from yesterday. Hello, Surabaya. Yo opo kabo eka. I'm saying it very badly, Dedy, but I'm just reading out the way. Is,
You can say.
And John Lowe, Madi, and Elaine. So lots of love, lots of shout out there, growing there. Yeah. So
thanks for joining, guys. Ask questions.
Yes, please ask questions. Please put these guys in the hot seat, because I think
The hotter the seat, the better.
Don't make it easy for them. Yeah.
Yes.
So Paul, take over the screen and show us what you've got.
Yeah, so guys, today, for those who are already with us live, we're just going to talk about what we do, and besides event photography, how we do it, and what's the philosophy behind all of that. I would like to share with you a short presentation that will last 3 hours about how this all works, right? Okay, so can you see my screen? Yes, you can see my screen. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Yeah, okay.
Do we have enough time? Because the MCO is going to be done on the 28th.
Yeah, I'll try to finish by Monday, if it's okay with everyone. So yeah, most of you know who we are. This is the whole team as it is right now on April 22nd.
Sunny.
Yeah, I'm missing Sunny. But Sunny is in Ipoh right now, so he couldn't be in this photos.
He's the left side there, in the sun there. The
Yeah,
yellow sun.
Sunny, we love you. Okay. So we are the team that is based in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. For those who don't know, we do photograph events and creative assignments all around the world. And this is just a little bit of what you can see with the countries we've been working in. And all these photos are from those countries that we took them at. We do run a studio, as I said, in the heart of KL between Kampung Baru and Chowkit in Jalan Dorai Sami Row, which we very love. That's how it looks like. That's where we work. That's where we do our photo shoots as well. Meng will show you some of the photos that he took there previously. And now I would like to talk about the few projects we've been working on for the past 5 to 6 years, every year, that happen yearly. And why I chose these projects is, for me, those projects are very close to the heart, because it's not only the core team that you have seen in the first slide that are executing this, but we do collaborate with a lot of local and international photographers for these projects. And only with their support, we are able to achieve these amazing images of Malaysia and being able to show them to the world, and just to prove one more time how cool, creative, and vibrant Malaysia is. So all of these projects, we do engage external photographers. We learn from them. We also teach them, and we all grow together from this. So KL Fashion Week is one of the things that we've been working on since I think 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And we've been called behind the scenes photographers of Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week. And I love it for that, because I'm given a full freedom together with my team to do whatever we want to do while the event is happening. So it means we don't photograph the straight shot of the catwalk, but we do cover everything else, which is behind the scenes, the details, the models, the guests, the crew itself. And I love it because it gives all of the team a complete freedom to show their creativity. So, for example, this photo was taken by Anislin when she joined us, and she was really eager to photograph behind the scenes and the makeup room. So she took this great photo of the model being applied, eyeliner. So yeah, so when we get the team on board, of course, we brief them the do's and don'ts. We assign them the time and we assign them the tasks, what they should do, and they just go, and then they are the best creatives they can ever be, because there is no pressure. There is no responsibility between them and client, because I'm standing in between. So I'm talking to the client, and the photographers just go crazy and they do whatever they want to do in there. So this also the shots of the model behind the scenes. And of course, Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week wouldn't be what it is right now without the amazing team of photographers that we love seeing every year and meeting there and working with them together. Especially with the Kelly, who sits in the middle there. And I'm really proud of her that she's leading this bunch of photographers there every year, and she takes the front row seat in there. So kudos to that. Yeah. So the bigger project that we do every year, and sadly just yesterday it was postponed to 2021. It's a Good Vibes Music Festival that brings in tens of thousands of people and puts Malaysia on a map as an amazingly diverse and creative country when it comes to music and festivals. So we do photograph that festival since the very first day when it started in Malaysia, when it was still in Sepang. Now it moved to another location in Cameron Highlands and
Genting Highland.
Sorry, Genting Highland. Yeah, one of the highlands. And again, this assignment is probably the most difficult, challenging, and rewarding assignment that we've been working non-stop every year. And it wouldn't be possible to execute it without the amazing team of talented creatives that come not only from Malaysia, but also from Singapore. So shout out to our brothers and sisters of Colossal Photos in Singapore, because we do exchange with them. They send photographers to Malaysia to help us to photograph. And we do send our photographers to help them with the local festivals in Singapore, which again adds on to what I've been saying before, helps us to grow and to share the knowledge and inspire each other. So all of these images that I'm going to show you briefly right now were taken by different team members and during the different years of the music festival. And the beauty, for example, this image was taken by Dedy, who is participating with us right now, and it's no Photoshop has been used in there. Sorry. So the beauty of this festival is, Dedy will talk about it more in detail, but is that there are so many moving parts in here, and there are so many types of photography that need to be executed. It's like a music photography, people photography, lifestyle photography, creative photography, and I like to empower every photographer that I get on the team to do their best, what they are comfortable with and what they are good at. And also, in addition to that, to challenge them to go a bit further, to do an extra step, to do something risky, because now it's the opportunity to do that. So one of the things that we've been doing during the Good Vibes, we are collaborating with this artist called Daniel Adams. He's also a photographer himself. And we bring him on board, but he doesn't have to photograph anything in a festival. He can do his creative project. And this is one of the things he has done, which is he brought these headpieces that he built himself, actually, and he went behind the scenes. And in the middle, you can see Yuna. He put it on Yuna, and he took a portrait, and then he put it on the attendees' heads, and he just photographed it, and then he made an exhibition out of that. So what I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to bring in the artists to the music festival, give them this playground in a safe and secure space so they can flourish and nourish their creativity. That's benefit for them, benefit for the festival. It adds an extra value to the organizers from Future Sound Asia who are doing all of this. And on top of that, it shows Malaysia's creativity to the world, because, all eyes is on this festival, and we as the visual creatives do have the power to show it in the most beautiful way that is possible. And last year in 2019, we have had the biggest team ever. We gathered to photograph all of this. So you can see all of this, and Anis is there, and yes, John and Reese.
20 people.
Yeah.
20 photographers.
For me personally, why this festival is really beautiful is the diversity of the people that attend the festival. And I just can't explain to you how happy I am to live in Malaysia among such a diverse culture and nation. Because I come from the country where visually we are more or less looking the same. Malaysia is like 180 degrees opposite of that. So during this festival, I try to take as many portraits of people as I can. And then at the end, Dedy would do this GIF, showing all the faces of the people I photographed in there. I think it's around like close to 200 people I took a portraits of. And I think this GIF shows the perfect diversity and beauty of Malaysia, of the Good Vibes Festival, and of the crowd that comes in there. So moving on, it's a Rio. Rio, why I want to talk about Rio is like a mini version of Good Vibes Festival. Rio is a creative arts and crafts festival and food festival that happens every 2 months in Kuala Lumpur, and it happened in Ipoh as well. And we love working on it for exactly the same reasons as Good Vibes. A, it's extremely beautiful crowd of Malaysians and locals and the foreigners who attend there. B, in terms of photography, we get to assemble the team from core team photographers and also external photographers. And again, we give them this free ranging ground to just roam around and do whatever they want to do, as long as they can execute based on our guidelines, what client is requiring, and then they can practice anything. For example, they can practice the flash photography during the daytime and achieve moments like this. They can practice the shots that will look like advertisement poster, even though it's taken during the festival itself. So it's like all of these moments, and especially I love this photo that has been taken by, again, Anis. When she joined us, I think it was the first time she photographed with us. And I think it shows, it's not just a photo of the festival that is happening somewhere. It shows that this festival is unique. It caters to all walks of life, Malaysians. And the way we photograph it, we try to show it not only just the documentation of it, but we try to show these little details that add on to the big story of the whole festival. So that's where, the different skill set of photography comes in hand, because you have, same as with the Good Vibes, you don't just photograph documentary, you photograph lifestyle, you photograph food, you choose a different perspective, you push your creative limits and boundaries. And that's why I think Good Vibes happens once a year, but Rio happens once in 2 months. So, we can flex our creative muscle much more often than we would do in a big scale festival. And of course, the level of stress is way less. It's much more manageable. So shout out to the amazing Rio team, and what they're doing is very great. So this is where
I'm does it take place, Rio? Where is this happening?
Oh, so it started in APW Bangsa, then it moved to Sentul.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
but basically they are not fixed in a certain area. It depends on the type of
team in the festive season.
Yeah, let's say they have like a Pangong team, then they have it in like the Gasket Alley. But yeah, it's not a fixed location.
Yeah, so you can just check them out on social media. And
sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, and this is where I want to end my presentation about why is it important for me, these kind of shoots, and why is it important for me to bring the photographers on board and to help them train, because it clearly ties into the philosophy of sharing the knowledge, gathering the creative community together, and giving them a safe space to experiment and be as creative as they want. So
it's very unique, because most event assignments, you don't have that luxury,
So, I agree with you, but how I managed to build up the system is because there are leading photographers in a team that for sure will get what client wants.
Okay.
And why not to push the boundaries further and add on some creative extra layer on the assignment, and give other people opportunity to come in, because if you are just starting photography, it's the chance. Let's be honest, the chances are very high that you're gonna come and join and lead the photography of 2-day event that happens for 12 hours with like 10,000 people a day. But when you come in as a part of our team, we give you this shelter where you can, safely experiment in that, learn from us, and you have freedom to make mistakes and not to be judged, just be advised. So that's how I structurized all of this. Yeah, and now I just want to quickly run through my personal favorite projects that I've done while being a part of this amazing team. And these projects are absolutely aligned together with each other, and you will see how. So I absolutely love photographing the state leaders of the countries around Southeast Asia when I get the chance. So I've been working with this amazing magazine from London, Monocle, and from their bureau in Hong Kong, James. So we did a couple of shoots together, and just want to show you some photos that I did of the Tun when he came back recently to power, and I've been assigned to photograph his portrait in Putrajaya. And my idea, so every time I go to photograph the people that, lead the nation of tens of millions or hundreds of millions, I try to tell myself that they are just people like you and I with a little bit more responsibilities. But when it comes to being photographed, that barrier of responsibilities just disappears. And I think if I can show the genuinity and admiration towards what they do, they will open up and I will give the best to them. So with Tun, I wanted to show this. This was the leading photo of the article, and I wanted to show this playfulness and youthfulness of him in a photo. So hence it's so close to him, and he's doing the peace sign. I planned it in my head, and I wasn't sure if he's going to do it, but he agreed to do it, and the photo looked fantastic. And shout out to James Chow, who was an interviewer with me that day. He actually wrote the title, The Second Coming. So the photo tied up with the peace sign. So it's like a two, So I think that's the beauty of a good team when you work together, and the copywriter and photographer complement each other, and that's what happens. So these are like, can you see the photo on the right side where he's in the elevator?
The lift?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So these are the extra shots that I took, and the lift photo was the last one when I took of him just waving goodbye before he went down to another meeting, which in a way it's symbolic right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And another one is Jokowi. Jokowi is Dedy's president. And he leads the nation of almost 230 million people, which for me, I speak Bahasa as well. And it was the very first president I ever photographed. So it was like all the challenges came into one. Like, okay, I have to test my Bahasa right now. I will have to test my photography skills, and I have to test my, human skills and how to make him relax in front of the camera. So this was the leading shot where my initial idea was to photograph him among the trees in the park, because I did the research before photographing him. He studied forestry, so I thought it's going to be nice if we put him in a forest. It will make him relax among the trees. And he agreed with that. He loved the idea. And he said, okay, we're going to drive the golf cart buggy. I say, okay, cool. And then we go downstairs and I see this buggy and I say, can you just sit in there and pretend you're driving? He's like, bisa. And then he sat down. Yeah, he sat down in there and I say, lihat saya dan senyum. He just looked at me, smiled, and I got vertical, horizontal shots, and boom, we have this, and I think it shows him again as just a human being, running around his daily life, even though he's the leader of hundreds of millions, And so these are the extra shots, and that's the shot with the trees, not exactly the way I planned, because he wanted to go to another tree, not the one I scouted. And so we ended up not using that photo, but I still think it shows I say, can you just look upstairs and just enjoy the moment? And he's like, yeah, and he did that moment when I captured it. And another one is, again, a close-up portrait of him. I love to do the close-up portraits of people, because I think it just brings out more of their soul, because you get to look into their eyes, because when you photograph the full body or like them doing something, you just see the story around them. But when you get this close-up shot, you look into their eyes, and how often in your life you can be so close to the leader of the nation, to get
I think your shots are quite unique, because whenever you see photos of all these world leaders, they are they're sort of very strong, authoritative type like poses, whereas yours actually show them as they are. I mean, like they seem they seem human. They seem like people who are quite can see the lighter side of themselves and have optimism.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that. I like bringing the human part of them, and I like to show other people that, look, they're just like you and I. They just decided to have more job and more work than all of us, So so this last shot before I go to the last president, this was him driving the buggy in the car, and there were people coming and thanking him and admiring him. So I love this reflection shot, and the lady, doing salam to him, and him, and you can see my camera behind him as well, just like behind his So and the last one, which I did with my friend Jane Chambers from Hong Kong, was Tsai Ing-wen, the president of Taiwan. This was the latest one I've done. And a funny story about this photo. So I must tell you, this was the most strict photo shoot I've ever done, because there was such an intense protocol that we had to follow. Yes. And I didn't have any idea how I'm going to photograph, because I was framed into such a little time frame, and I've been told that we can't move anywhere from interview room and everything. And I was like, okay, but I need to find something creative. And during the conversation with her public relations team, someone mentioned she likes driving cars and she's not allowed to drive cars as the president. So while she's running as a president, she cannot drive a car, but she really likes doing that. And I'm like, brilliant, let's make her drive the car for a photo. But of course, you can't sell the idea like that, just going to the PR team and saying hey, just put her in front of the car because she likes driving cars. So the way I phrased it, I said, hey, why don't we put a female leader of the nation in the driving wheel seat position of the big black Jeep car?
Yeah.
And the PR team went yeah. And I'm yeah, let's do this. And of course, it was half of the day negotiations between the parties, and eventually you looking at that photo that I planned, and I managed to execute it. It was shot on a 50 millimeters. I was really afraid that I will not have enough space to move back, but luckily I did have, and that's the photo that turned out. And these are the other shots that I tried to squeeze in with what I have had. So I want to speak about the shot where she's sitting on a bench and writing. You see the photo on the right side, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the story about this photo very quickly is that there was this garden in her office, in her palace, in her, I don't know where she works. And I said, I want her to sit on a bench and write something. And the protocol team were like, okay, so what you going to write? I say, I don't know. They're like, no, we need to know what she's writing. I'm like, okay, she's writing a postcard. They're like, okay, what postcard? I'm like, I don't know, for my mom. And they're like, okay, can you just rewrite it and she will sign it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So they gave me the postcard. I wrote like, hi, Mom, I'm in Taiwan, Taipei right now, photographing the president. And she's going to sign this postcard to you. Love you, kisses. And we came to the garden. She sat down and I say, okay, look, I'm going to take a photo of you sitting here. And there is a postcard that I wrote for my mom. Would you mind signing it? And she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I give her the postcard. She signs the postcard. I get that photo. We get the photo. Everyone loves the photo. I think this photo also ended up being in a magazine. Fantastic. I get my postcard back. I put the post stamp. I send it. And now that photo is in Lithuania hanging in my parents' apartment somewhere. So yeah, that's what I love doing. I love bringing out the human side of the people that look so distant and we see them on TV every day, but we might be intimidated to approach them. It just drives me to go and find out what they really are, how they really are, who they really are, and just show it in my photos.
I mean, you look at these photos, like they really bring out the best in her because she looks so motherly here, you know.
And she is.
Now she's the most successful international leader now, like undertaking the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Taiwan is doing the best. You know, like so many kudos to her for doing such a great job. Yeah? And also your photos actually, showing this other softer side of her. I think it's just wonderful.
Yeah, and I think she's an amazing leader, an amazing person on her own. You know. The way she speaks, the way she handles the whole situation, the way she leads the nation. So yeah, this photo where she shows the peace sign, one of the ways I warm them up before the photo, I show them the previous photos of the leaders I took. So because she was the last, I showed Jokowi and I showed Mahathir. And I showed the photo of Mahathir doing this. She's like, oh, I love this. And I'm like, do you want to do the same? She's like, yes. And in my head, I was like, but the background is absolutely not working right now. But never mind, just because of the story, do it. So she did it. I took a photo and I tried to position her so she'll be framed in the corridor. And then security just went, no, enough. And I'm like, okay. And then she left. And then that's it. That was the end of the photo shoot. So it's the very last photo during that 15 minutes period that I took. Yeah, and again, it was very, very comforting to work with James Chambers, the copywriter, because we worked as a team, so we were helping each other. So when I need more time to take photos, he will start talking to the PR or the security and distract them a little bit so I can focus a bit more. And when he needs to, continue interview while we're doing a photo shoot, I will tell him so James, do you want to ask something else while we're taking these photos so he can, talk to them more. I think it's very important to have this good teamwork with everyone around you when you are on assignments like this that happen, once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So sorry, I ran a bit longer, but now I want to give the stage to my super cool team members, Dedy and Meng.
Thank you.
If you don't have any more questions, okay? So I'll stop sharing, and then whoever is next can start sharing now.
Just a quick one before you sort of start. I just read a comment here. Rachel Chong loved the shots of Tun Mahathir.
Rachel Chong, I love you.
Evan Lau asked, which was Tun's favorite photo, do you know, out of the set that you took?
Yeah, he really likes this.
Where I'm showing photos, right?
Yeah, so it's actually his Instagram profile photo, the one where he's showing the piece.
The peace sign, okay.
Yeah, he loved it so much that he told the PR team to contact with me and to get those photos of me so he can have them. And apparently, I don't want to boast, but he has never said it to any other photographer. So
great. That's a great story. Yeah?
That's a great compliment, to myself and motivation not to stop. To stop. Yeah. Okay, so next is Dedy, right?
Yeah. Sharing the screen.
Yeah, the screen is yours.
Yeah, Dedy.
Yep.
Yeah, my Dedy.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey, Dedy.
Hello.
Okay, so besides just doing work in the studio, one thing that I would like to do personally for my personal photography project, I like to take some landscape, beautiful scenery. Paul showed us in the beginning that we sometimes travel to another country for an assignment. So during that time, I would take just a couple more days, like 2 or 2 days, just to go around and see the the country that we are having jobs in.
Yep.
And in the same time, I will tell you some of the things that I learned while doing this into our daily work. So the first thing is, I would like to ask you first. Do you think what time is this photos is taken?
This one, sunset.
Yeah, you think about sunset is about like 6
Yeah.
p.m., 7 p.m., right?
Yes.
But so the first thing I learned is about planning. So I did my research, and this was taken in Iceland around summer, which as you know, summer in the northern area, the sun doesn't really set. So this one was actually taken around midnight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing that I learned is planning. Planning is the first thing that we do when we get an assignment or we get another event to shoot. We always plan it earlier, and yeah. So planning is the
important,
first step,
right?
Yeah. And the second one, I would love to share about attention to details. Sometimes brings out a really beautiful visual, and you should not forget to take some detailed shots. So the previous shots is actually in this photo somewhere.
Wow.
Do you think you know what it is?
So it's one of the mountain peaks, is it?
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
So this one is Mont Blanc mountain range in South.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that picture is actually here.
Oh.
It's slightly different angle,
Yeah.
but you see how just to pay a little bit of attention to details, you get this really beautiful visual that helps your visual storytelling.
You must have carried a very big lens up that mountain, no?
I did. I carried 70 to 100 actually. It wasn't that big. It's alright. It's not like 800 mm or something.
But typically, if you climb a mountain, I think that's the last lens I would think of carrying, 70 to 100.
So you can get this kind of photos. So
Yes.
It's kind of worth it. Yeah. And then the next one.
Wow.
Photoshop, no?
Oh, actually,
No Photoshop.
it's actually not Photoshop. So I remember taking this shot vividly because we just finished Urbanscape's opening party, I think 2017 or 2018. So I went back home and I was so tired, and I just see these flashes of light in front of my balcony. I went out and I see this lightning strikes every 2-3 seconds. So it was really intense.
Yes.
And so I gave a little bit of thought, and I thought I just take out my camera and just to take this opportunity to make something instead of being just tired and just go back to sleep. So I set up my camera on my balcony. I set up like 30 second exposure, and I went to shower, and I came back and I got these photos.
So you're saying this one single exposure?
This one single exposure, 30 seconds.
That's amazing, huh?
Yeah. And for some reason that day, it just like stormy, but the sky was clear.
Yeah.
So that's why you can
clear.
see the foreground of the city was quite clear.
So this tells me that KL is a damn dangerous place to be if it rains.
Yeah.
Don't hold umbrella outside.
That's awesome, man. This is fantastic. I mean, usually I see shots that there's one lightning bolt and you've got the whole sky light up.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is just to take that little bit of effort to do something. Sometimes it gets you back like a lot more than what you think. And then the last one.
Just for the reference, Dedy, which part of the town are you taking this from?
This is for my balcony. I'm in Srihartamas.
Srihartamas. Okay.
Yeah, facing Damansara Height.
Beautiful.
You can see the PM tower there.
I think it's raining now. Everybody's going to rush out with their camera now. With their
You can try. You should try.
So inspiring.
And the last one, what I learned doing this is about patience.
Okay.
So after I've done my planning, I pay attention to all the details. I plan everything meticulously, and I take this opportunity to go to Mount Bromo to take a picture of Milky Way. There's a very short tutorial how to shoot Milky Way. You just need a really, really dark spot.
Yes.
So this one was taken after around 3 o'clock, just right after the moon set at the back. That's why you see on the right side there's a little bit brighter than on the left side.
I see again.
Yeah. So what was I talking about? Well, patience.
Patience.
I arrived in this area around sunset, so I waited about like 10 hours plus just to get this shot, and I think it's damn worth it.
I got a question. What do you do during the 10 hours?
I cook some meal. I drink some tea. I pitch my tent.
For 10 hours.
For 10 hours.
Fantastic.
Try to find a nice spot.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So all of these things, right? We can apply it to almost everyday work. So the things that we plan very much every year, like Paul said, is good vibes. Good vibes, we plan at least a month before. We find proper photographers to cover a certain area or certain type of photos, and we handle all of our clients. So in the festival itself, we don't just shoot the festival, but we have so much more. Like Paul said, we have so many different small projects. This is one of the shot that our colleague did, Sunli. It's a combination shot of the day and night, and then also the Daniel Adams project that was there. We did live IG takeover where we had a host talking and guide social media people throughout the festival to experience it. Yeah. And on top of all those projects, we also need to handle our clients, right? We have like La Primeria, we have ICOS, Netflix, Heineken, Toyota, and all these sponsors. We need to take care of them during the festival. That's why this whole 1 month of planning is really, really important. If not, all of this not gonna happen.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So we also shoot weddings. This is the recent wedding we did for Nadia and Fendi. I'm talking about attention to details, how we apply it. So this shot, I love it because it just that tiny details about their wardrobe to tell us about them. So you know that they are, even though they are wearing a little bit more formal, wearing baju Melayu and some kebaya, but they wear sneakers. So it tells you that they are a bit more, fun and quirky kind of couple, which I think wedding photographers would love it to shoot like this kind of.
And this is a bit easier because you didn't have to lug your 70-200 up the mountain.
Yeah, correct.
Just squat on the ground.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that these photos will represent everything. It's just that these photos, it helps to build the story.
But it's, sometimes, you'd be surprised, like after a wedding, when the client looks at the photos and they see photos like this, to them, they actually spend time to plan this sort of things, and for you to notice that actually, it's quite meaningful for them.
Yeah. And then even if we shoot for interior, this is the BRDB project that we did recently. attention to details is it helps you to build the story. And for example, like just the texture of the table or the material that they use, it helps for them to sell to their future potential buyer.
Yeah.
And to tell the story as well.
Yeah, correct. And then one of the hardest thing to shoot during music is to shoot the drummer, because they sit all the way at the back. They don't move. They just hit their drums. And once you get, sorry, I missed.
Missed. It's okay.
Sorry, I did check back. So the third points that I talked about just now is taking opportunity. So back to Urbanscapes. One of the opportunities
Good vibes. Sorry. One of the opportunities that I took, because we have so many different artists that was playing there, so I thought of just have a little bit, like 5 minutes of their time, and just take a backstage portrait. You can see the group of people on your left. I don't know if it's your left or your right. The only girl is Alina Barras at the backstage of Good Vibes, and the other boys are the local band Kokokila. This is Aku, very cool people, and my favorite shot is this purity ring. This is also not Photoshop. This is just a camera trick using simple lights. And then one of the hardest things to shoot drummer. This is where you need some patience, and then once you get their rhythm, you can get like really, really nice shot of the drummer. Like this.
It's a fantastic shot, man.
Because their hands usually are in the way of their face, right?
Yeah.
Plus, you cannot always get the faces, they're looking
yes,
down.
Correct. Sometimes their set is so big that you can't see them at all.
Yeah.
So shooting drummer is quite fun and challenging.
Yeah. And as you said, they're always right at the back. You know?
You need to be very patient to get that shot, right? And plan properly.
And plan properly,
Yeah, and be attentive to details like the hands and where the position of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And next one, Meng would share something.
Before we pass to Meng, I just like a question for you. Or some of the comments. Elaine Yuan, Dedy love all your shots, So, Patrick Fu, that's regarding your lightning shot. Our country is rated as one with the highest number of lightning. So you're in the right country to shoot this kind of shot. So, and this Lin, that's one killer thunderstorm shot. It's great to see, aside from constant assignment shootings, you have time to take photographs of landscapes as well. Yeah.
While you're taking a shower.
So you're not working him hard enough. I don't know. Love the Milky Way shot. It must have been super cold up in Bromo. So I think Bromo is quite cold. Like
it's alright. It was like 2 or 3 degrees. Wasn't that?
That's alright for you.
This is quite alright considering.
And then Glenn Guanya, hello, amazing team. So
hello, Glenn. What's up?
Yeah, wonderful. Okay.
Hey, Glenn, how's your bike?
So, Kin Ming, you're next, right?
Yes, I'll share my
Right.
screen.
Great stuff.
Now our keynote is gonna get really scary. You can hear all the film.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay, so Dedy talked about his travel stuff, about what he likes to do in his free time, whenever he gets free time. So for me, I like to shoot portraits, and especially shooting people that are interesting, and that you can. And the thing that I like the most is building connection with the people that you shoot, and it's not just like taking a photo. Same thing like what Paul said. It's not like getting the formal photo. Is about like either going up close or trying to put down their barrier or their walls that they put up. You have to take it down, so you get a very genuine sort of photo. So yeah, this is all taken in our studio, number 58-2, The Row, Jalan Dorai Sami.
Yeah.
I think
between Kampung Baru and Chowkit.
Yeah. Can you see our face there also? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. You see you as well.
So should I like remove this, or you can't see the photo?
No, we can see. Don't worry about how
okay.
easy. I'm actually streaming both you and the models. Both your faces are like beautiful. So don't worry. We see both.
Good. I think mine more beautiful. Anyway,
yeah, it's all good. It's all good, Meng.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So it's all taken in the studio. Just whenever you have spare time. Because for us, like Paul mentioned, we are known for doing events. And sometimes on busy months, we can maybe 20-25 shoots in a month that we have. So a lot of, this is my uncle advice is like, too much of a good thing can be bad. So, shooting a lot of events all the time, it can get a bit repetitive. So for me, this is a good way to sort of refresh. Some people have a hobby. I don't have any other hobby other than taking photos. So, so my job is my hobby. So I have to find the balance between those two. So doing portraits like this, it sort of refreshes my mind, be more creative. So so it also gets you to, experiment with a lot of different type of lights. And I never worked in a studio before, so I'm not that good at lighting. So I just keep, trying out different lights and different softbox and stuff like that until I like something. So and also when we go overseas, like this was in Amsterdam.
Okay.
So we were there for a shoot, and I just took another few days. I contacted some agency to ask them, do they have any models free for testing? So we managed to I think it was one day or 2 days. I shot like 2-3 models. Okay. So this was one of my favorite shots. She's just actually really adjusting. So I just took a photo while she was adjusting. And model, they always got the model face even though they're not prepared. So so stuff like this. So I think a lot of people feel very like intimidated when you are overseas and you not in your usual comfortable environment to sort of go out and find models like that. Because I understand for me it was very nerve-wracking at first also, but I sort of like put that aside because my sort of my main idea behind doing all this is to meet people, and by doing this I get to meet people and also do photography and get nice photos. So like for example, like this girl, we ended up talking about, I don't know, a lot of random stuff. We talked about politics, and she never been to Asia before. This was my first time in Europe. And then we talk about like, oh, did you know that the Dutch come and conquer Malaysia? They didn't know that. So I give her some knowledge that she can feel guilty about. So this type of shots also, just model portraits.
Oh, she must have been really guilty.
Well, I mean, it was a whole different time. So let's not get into that so much. And this girl was really good. So, cause I really like the curly hair. It's like, in Asia, you don't really get that kind of hair.
Curliness.
Except for Tuti. Shout out to Tuti. Anyway, this is also out of the country. So in Bali as well. This is in Bali. And some waterfall somewhere. So this is what I mean by like trying different stuff. So this one was just some night in Bali, just shooting with a direct flash. So there's a pool there. So I just say jump into the pool, get all these like super cool droplets that will freeze, because you're using flash. And photos like this. And and also other than that, I want to talk a bit about film photography. So this is another thing that was a hobby of mine. I used to collect film camera, but damn expensive, so I have to sell. So I only have a few that I like now. So so I think it's a whole different feeling towards Polaroid photos, and it really helps to sort of connect with the subject, because it's something that's very raw and very real. And it's not the most like polished photo, but to me, it's something that I really enjoy. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, because my AirPod did a ting 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 sound. Anyway, yeah. So this, a lot of people ask me about what camera I use. So I use this Mamiya universal camera. It's a really old camera, and I use this bag. You can't usually shoot this Polaroid with it. So this is all nerd stuff, but I got this custom bag from Taiwan, and you can shoot these Polaroids with it.
What kind of Polaroid film do you use? Is it Instax?
This one is called Polaroid Original. So it's actually the big Polaroid, not the Instax. Is quite small.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and this all has like PC sync cords, so you can plug it to your external studio lights and shoot and be creative in that way. And yeah, this is another film camera which has like 4 lenses. So also same thing, you have that limited frame and you just try to be creative with what you can do. And yeah, you use this camera. I'm not selling this camera I put like I'm selling like that, but I'm just showing the camera. Yeah, this one also has a PC sync cord, so you can connect to the studio light. It's actually meant for a passport photo last time. So you're supposed to take it all at once, then you can cut it and make a passport photo.
I see.
Yeah, but now it's like so expensive. I don't think you should do that. Yeah, and this is all like my personal work that I do whenever we have some free time from our jobs. So how does it relate to what we do on a daily basis on a campaign? So this one was a campaign that we did for Levi's. We shot this for a bunch of musicians over like 2 weeks, the local musicians in KL. So if you notice, all of the pictures have like the same kind of feel, same kind of like
tone.
Same tone. So that was what we already had in mind. And my idea was like, Levi's is like very raw, very cool. So we'll do direct flash. So that came back from like me playing something in Bali, trying direct flash. So that idea came to me, and then we did something like this. Although it wasn't shot with a direct flash, because we tried it, it's too small. So we used a beauty dish, but no diffuser. So it also still has that sort of like harsh lighting, but also it can spread wider. Yeah. So this is one of, how you can always take what you learn, no matter what, into, photography and the other. And also another one, which is Sephora, which we also did a campaign for. And also, in our studio, always plug the studio. So this is also from me just testing out lights when I'm doing a model test.
And also referencing back to campaign, it's not just we can use what we learn in campaign, it's also like our events. So I think what really sets us apart from our event photography, we don't really just take it just as documenting an event. Just sort of think about how you can make it different, like for example, how can you make it like a portrait photo shoot, like think in that mindset, And like for example, the one on the right, the event is like, I think it's an Armani event, and it's very chaotic, a lot of things, a lot of people behind. And if you want to take a photo from far away, yeah, you can, but it's very, you have that shot, but it's a bit messy. So like, okay, how you have like your different mindset of a portrait photographer. You just zoom in, use 50, get the eye sharp, and you have a nice portrait like that. And on the left, like nice lighting. You see they were doing some like flat lay workshop or something. So just see the light is nice, then just ask her to stay there, take a step back, and then you get like a nice photo like this. And then I think this is this is also all events. How you can incorporate what you learn doing passion work when you want to refresh your mind. So like on the right, it's like a very like sort of fashion photo, but it's actually just behind the scenes of Fashion Week, which is also fashion, but still. If you look at a photo, then if you take out that Panasonic in the background behind on the left, you can you can imagine it being on on a spread of a fashion magazine or something. So I think so the main thing was like they were all standing together. So I want to make her be more like the queen, the star of the show. So take a step forward, you get her really like in focus with all the bodyguards behind. Yeah. So yeah, last is this picture of me in white color shirt, which we never wear. So they made me wear this when we pitched this idea to one of our clients. So we managed to incorporate like my passion, which is film, into actual event. So we did Polaroids for this Kiehl's skincare event. So I shot like I think over 100 Polaroids, which is a bit nerve-wracking. I think I only messed up like, let's say less than 1% lah. So yeah, so it's very challenging, but it's also very fulfilling because it's like this camera I had for like ages, which I just use for fun. But it can somehow translate to what we do as a work as well. And also this one is also a Fred Perry shoot that we did. We used a 4-lens camera and did this as an added value for the client. So we did a actual studio campaign. And then this was also another one which they use for their social media campaign as well. I think it's the last slide. And yeah, my conclusion, I wrote here, conclusive. So I think that working in this team, what I want to sort of talk about is that we are all very understanding about each other, and we always have the freedom to create what we want. For example, like for me, one day I just want to do a model shoot for the whole day. So I just book the shoot for the studio, then I just do it. Dedy wants to go to Iceland or whatever, Bromo, and camp for 10 hours drinking tea. He can go, We understand that everyone has their passion. We can, we also understand that as a team, we are all, in it together. We are all trying to grow, and our main goal, is to grow as a team. So yeah, we have to grow as a team, but first of all, you have to sort of like grow yourself also. That's like my Tumblr meme. But yeah, it's like you have to grow and learn personally before you can grow as a team. So I think, that's one of the main reasons that we are very strong together as a team. We understand each other, and we are all in the same mindset of like, okay, everything we are doing is for the team to grow.
I think what I appreciate is like you guys are pushing the envelope. Like you're not just taking event photography. Like the stuff that you're learning in your studio, the stuff that you're learning from your landscape shoot, the stuff that and these are things that allow you to like do your own creative stuff. Huh? It's a good thing that you all this like creative energy that you bring back from Amsterdam, or you bring back from hiking a mountain. You bring it back into your projects, and your projects become so much more interesting. Yeah? So I think that's, from what you've shown me, I think it's not just a typical event shoot. Yeah? You actually like a lot of things that you do as a form of passion, you're bringing back into like applying it to making your events or your clients have something a bit more awesome. Yeah? So I think that's, for photographers, that's always a challenge, pushing the envelope.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think, we don't want to be those photographers that do creative stuff when actual job is not happening. I want the team to be the photographers that actually do the creative job during the actual thing. And I don't want, I don't have the clients, or I don't see the clients as the ones that they are boring with the ideas. No, it's just how you sell the idea and how you convince the client, because we are the creatives and we have this gift of creativity, So if we sell it properly, which is very important, we can do magic and we can make a living out of that. And that's the best thing we as a photographers, as a creative people can dream of, full time, doing what you love and having fun with the like-minded people. What can be better in life, isn't it?
It's fantastic. Yeah, that's a good, that's a good mindset to have. I think that's the photographer's dream, to be able to to
live the dream.
To live the dream,
yeah.
And
exactly, yeah. So basically that's it. So you asked us what we're doing right now during the lockdown. So besides working out and eating healthy, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually haven't it didn't slow us down. Yes, like maybe we are not out there, but we are inside, always having a daily meetings, always brainstorming ideas and coming up with the new ways of how to have an income. So one of the things we've done, because we have such a huge pool of photos that are evergreen, we started uploading them to Shutterstock and trying to make, few ringgit here and there, just so we can afford to buy a free coffee, let's say once a month. You don't even it's because the photos are there, so they are being sold at some point. Another thing we did was we launched this campaign where we sell extremely, I think 50% discounted photo shoots in our studio right now if you pre-book it, and so that's been going well, and it took a nice team effort to execute it and launch it. Yeah, and there are other projects in the pipeline, but I prefer to talk about them once they actually finalized. But what I want to say is just this lockdown should not slow you down in any way. It's just because you, as a person, you have the same amount of energy, right? It's just whether you are using that energy outside or now you're just locked in your house, so you still have the same amount of energy. So shift it towards something that will benefit you and the community and your team members. So the energy doesn't disappear. It's just where are you shifting it and what are you doing with it? That's, I think, is very important. So focus on the now. Don't focus on the past or on what we're going to do when it's going to be over. It doesn't matter. Focus on what is happening now with you, what you can do with this time that you are given, with the energy that you have, and everything's going to be okay in the future.
Fantastic advice. Exactly the same advice that Zoom sort of advocated, when he was on. Yeah. So I think it's the time is great to be a photographer these days, regardless the lockdown, because everyone is so obsessed with the visual culture, and it's so easy to consume it, and we are the craftsmen that are actually producing it. So if we are producing it in a creative way and pushing our boundaries, we will always be on top of the game. It's great advice. Yeah. I tell you what, before I do a wrap up, I'm just going to do a shout out for what the program for this evening. So I'm just going to flip the screen, and then maybe we can sort of take about what we can do a wrap up on, and then let's see. Okay, tonight I'm going to have Kim Teo from the PSP. He's they are the people that organize the KLPF on a yearly basis, and they have a couple of photographic and travel related publications. So Kim Teo tonight, and this is going to be a Mandarin session that's going to be hosted by brother Lee from ePhoto. That's this evening at 9 p.m. And then tomorrow we're going to have a 4 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to have Liang Jiang, who's actually a DOP cinematographer, and he's going to be talking about some of his films and some of his cinematic projects that he's been working on. Now, this project I just wanted to highlight to you on the 23rd of April for all photographers, videographers, content providers. We're going to have Sennheiser. Sennheiser is a sound, they do audio equipment, and they're going to be telling us about using audio for video. But one of the big things I want to highlight about this event is they're going to be giving out 2 units of their memory mics worth 800 ringgit each during the session. So please, all photographers, all videographers, this is a free, Sennheiser is going to be giving out 2 units of this 800 ringgit memory mics. All you have to do is stay on the show, listen to it intently. At the end, just answer 3 questions, and you have the chance to win this Sennheiser mic. So that's on the 23rd of April. So back to us. Yeah? Did you hear the Sennheiser thing? I'm just No,
Are we live? Are we live?
We are live. We are live because the thing is,
okay.
With the Sennheiser thing is because I'm doing this all for non-profit. And Sennheiser come on, and this is from Singapore, and they have very generously offered to give 2 units of this Sennheiser mics. So please, all of you, please make sure that you all log in as well. Yeah?
Support.
Support.
Yeah. Cool. So wait, I have a question for you.
Yes.
When was the last time you were outside in a balcony or saw the sun? because you are non-stop streaming.
I'm quite lucky because I live in a condo. I open my door and I've stepped into a little garden. So
So nice.
I try to do that once a day.
Very important.
Obviously, but thank you for your concern and
I just look at Dedy's wallpaper for my outside.
Yeah, don't forget. It's very important to move around and to stay healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Do we have any questions for us, or
I think we're good. I think
everyone left already?
No. We're still we everybody's still there. I mean, please say hi. Greeting for the amazing team.
Hi, Pla. Don't be malas.
Yes. Yeah.
But someone asked if our office is at Heritage Row. Yes, it is.
Oh yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Heritage Row. Yeah. We took over one of the clubs in there. That went
Heritage Road. That's the one that's near the. Is it the Sheraton? Huh? Is it?
Yes. Right opposite. Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of nice, cool restaurants along that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we are above the restaurants.
So you're not actually Chowkit. You're actually in a very cool part of the city.
Told you, Paul.
I think we're in Chowkit. But
I mean, if you're in the Heritage Road, say Heritage Road. Don't say you're in Chowkit.
Technically, it's Chowkit.
Yeah.
I love Chowkit. It's like, everything is happening in there. Our studio is there. But yeah, you're right. We're at the Heritage Row.
So quick question for each of you before we sign off.
Yeah.
Assuming like the MCO...
No. Answer is no.
Assuming they end the MCO, right? Okay, individually, what are you all going to go and do with your cameras? Paul, Dedy, and Ken Meng,
Okay, please.
Okay, so
Dedy,
Paul.
Okay, so what I'm going to go do with my cameras first, I'm going to clean the sensor because it's probably going to be very dirty. And definitely we have already shoots booked for as soon as it's over. We have a couple of studio shoots booked. So we're going to do those portrait shoots to execute. And I'm really excited about that because I really, really miss photographing and miss interacting with the people in the studio. So yeah, I'm going to go and clean the cameras and start shooting.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to practice. I'm going to learn from the basic again.
Stole my answer.
Okay, starting from a clean sheet and yourself, you cannot use that. Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna start learning how to use my camera again because it's like I think for like past 2-3 years this is the longest any of us has ever like not actually photographed anything.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just back to work. If we have no shoots, just shoot whatever we want.
Yeah,
get back into the.
It's gonna be great. Trust me. Once all of this is over, the creativity gonna explode.
And you and gentlemen, it's been fantastic having you. I mean, it's been amazing having you on board.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you as well.
I really enjoyed the experience, and I think I'm quite excited because after this, even as an event photographer myself, I hope we get the chance to sort of collaborate with you because you've got all these awesome projects that you're working on.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So as photographers, we always look for opportunities to collaborate. And
exactly.
And all the best to you. And I'm sure you do very well once we can. Once the MCO doors are wide open. And take care of yourself and stay safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you as well, and thanks to the audience who stayed.
Bye.
Who just left the screens on. Bye.
Bye. And this is from Amazing. Bye.
Okay.